welcome to this video. In this video we'll be looking at the inclined plane practical investigation, which I set for my Year 10 students. So quite simply, we have a collision trolley on an inclined plane or a plank of wood, and we're trying to investigate the effects of one independent variable upon the dependent variable of acceleration. So we'll look at the equipment we're going to be using for this investigation. We have a collision trolley, which most physics classes have. We have a wooden plank, pretty easy to get hold of. Students will need either a phone with a slow-mo camera or a normal camera, SLR camera, which has a slow-mo feature as well. We'll be using the Tracker software package in order to analyze our video, and of course if we're looking at measuring angles as one of our independent variables, we'll need a large protractor. One possible investigation would be whereby we use the angle of the inclination as the independent variable. So here we have a plank of wood on a desk with a brick holding it up, and simply by sliding that brick at different positions we can vary the angle of this plane and then accordingly measure the rate of acceleration as the trolley rolls down that plane. So a possible aim for this investigation, if we were to use those two variables, that is the dependent variable of acceleration and the independent variable of plane inclination, would be to determine if there's a relationship between the angle of inclination of the plank and the rate of acceleration of the trolley. So let's consider this as a possible investigation. Take a video and use the software Tracker to be able to investigate this more thoroughly. Let's now analyze our video through the freeware of Tracker. Top menu, top left hand corner, we open up the file. This is called the 10-degree movie, and it will load up. I'll just fast forward this. Okay, so we now have this video. We're interested not in the whole video, we're interested just in the section when the person releases the trolley for the first time. So it's about to be released now, and we're interested the area reaches the bottom. So the trolley goes down, it's about to collide with the person's foot. We'll stop it there, rewind it back, and we can play that in slow-mo. The trolley is accelerating along the plane. Very good. Let's rewind that. So I've introduced our video. We've got our bookends for the start and stop, so we're not analysing unwanted footage. We'll now move across from left to right on the menu, and this is the next particular icon we're interested in. We click on that and it says yes, there's a frame rate of 60 frames per second. That's good. We now to move across one more to a new calibration stick, and using the shift button and clicking we can identify two pre-labeled points that represent a meter and write that down as a 1 meter reference. Okay. That can be toggled on and off. Okay, very good. We're next interested in our XY axes, so we'll bring that down right on that dot. However, in this case we're not interested in distance across the horizontal, we're interested in the distance along the plane or down the plane. So we get our angle hooked up, rearranged our axes so that our measurement is being taken down the plane, and we can close that. We now wish to create a track, so point mass from that point, and we're going to choose the auto tracker. I click on that. Now before we go any further, I'm going to zoom in, make it a little bit easier to watch. Okay, so now we've got it all set up. We have a meter reference, we have our XY axis set up, we've created our tracker, we've got mass A. We could call that if we wanted to, we could rename that one. We could just call it trolley if we wanted to. Okay, now to initiate the auto track we need to press Control and Shift together and we'll get this circle. Now we're selecting this dot here, and I've intentionally marked the trolley with the white tape and the black dot. That means our tracking program is going to look for a white background with a black dot. Very, very good to reference and track. Okay, now to start the auto track we just simply press the search and off it goes, and you'll see the graph constructing as we go along. It's got that nice curve shape indicating that it's travelling a greater distance at a later point in the journey. Okay, very good. We can rewind that back and watch our track on the graph. You can see as it moves along, frame by frame by frame, as we go. That nice curve shape representing the period of acceleration. But in terms of actually measuring the acceleration, what we're interested in is not the position in the x. We'll change it to the velocity in the x. Very nice, a very straight increasing velocity, okay, which represents a constant period of acceleration. To analyse that any further and actually work out what is the acceleration, of course, the gradient of a velocity time graph gives us the acceleration. We'll right click and we'll hit Analyze. And here's our graph, nice straight line. We're going to analyze and we're going to do curve fits. Excellent. We can see here, this is representing a y equals mx plus c straight line relationship, except we've got the terms a and b. We're interested in the first one. This is actually representing the gradient. Instead of m, they're using a. And they've told me here the gradient of this line, which is the gradient of the velocity time, to be called acceleration, is 2.13 meters per second per second. The e to the naught, don't worry, that means exponential to the power of naught, or 10 to the power of naught. 10 to the power of naught represents 1, so it's just 2.13 times 1. Okay, so that tells us this video, which had an inclination of 10 degrees from memory, 10 degrees, has generated an acceleration down the plane of 2.13 meters per second per second. And that process is required for each of the 5 angles and each of the 3 runs per angle. We now have 1, 2, 3 trials for each of the 5 angles. From this, we want to calculate the average acceleration of each incline. We highlight the 3 cells and we average. Then we can simply drag that down to the remaining cells. So we now know that for the incline of 10 degrees, the average acceleration was 1.7 meters per second per second. The incline of 20 was 3.4, incline of 30 was 5.5, incline of 40 was 6.4, and the incline of 50 was 7.7. We want to look at what relationship is there between angle and average acceleration. So the best way to do that is create a scatter plot. So I wish to insert a scatter plot, an XY scatter plot. I'm going to select my data, and for my X I want the angles. So for my X I want the angles of 10 to 50. For my Y I want the average acceleration. Okay, I now have a graph here which we can clearly see. Let's change this. We'll get the headings correct. Inclined plane. Down the bottom here, let's add titles. So first of all, done the vertical first. We want acceleration in meters per second per second. And then on the horizontal, we want angle in degrees. Okay, so looking at this, we look to have some kind of linear proportionality, whereby when the angle is increasing, 10 degrees, it's around about 2, at 20 degrees, it's 3.5, at 30 degrees, and so forth. It's increasing, it's almost like a proportionality. Now we know that we can add a trend line, and I'd like to add a trend line that has an intercept of 0, because we know that when there's a 0 angle, we're going to get 0 acceleration. And if we like, we can also display an equation. So this tells me that the acceleration is equal to 0.162 times the angle, if this is in fact a linear relationship, which it may or may not be. I can make that a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. Font size a bit bigger, and this Y, the vertical axis, is acceleration, and this X is the angle. So the finding for this investigation is that acceleration is equal to 0.162 times the angle, where the acceleration is in meters per second and the angle is measured in degrees. That's if, in fact, it is a linear relationship. Now, if this was a proper experiment, I'd be wanting to have errors and tolerances, plus or minuses on my angle, because no one can measure the angle exactly without any uncertainty, and my acceleration would also have some plus or minus for its uncertainty, and that would be shown as some kind of cross of errors on my dots. Okay, now, I'm not saying that this is in fact a linear relationship. Year 11s and Year 12s could analyse this at a higher level using a sine function transformation to prove otherwise, but at Year 10 level this looks like a pretty linear relationship at this point in time.